Welcome, Virgo and Virgo cross watchers, to your monthly love read for, I'm going to say September, for February 2023. So I hope you guys have had a great week and that your weekend is shaping up to be what you're looking for. Virgo, are you in love? Some pretty strong cards on your end. So, all right. Just want to let you guys know that private readings are available. If you'd like a private reading with me, my email is below in the description box. And if you're new here, welcome. Woo! All sorts of, sometimes I do things on this channel and I think to myself, like, really? Okay. So, if you're new here, welcome. I have a longer kind of read format that comes out on Thursdays, and then every Sunday there are mini weekly reads. So, ooh. Okay. So, we're going to dive right in here, Virgo. There seems to be, you know what? I wish I was in your energy right now because I feel like you seem to be really fired up about something, but it's not an impulsive, I'm going to run headlong into something that I haven't given any thought to. I actually feel like there's somebody here that's really seems to have sparked your interest. And what's interesting is it's like part of them doesn't know how to feel about it. And then part of them is like, okay, well, what does Virgo really want here? Let me get the lay of the land. Not that they're being, they're trying to pick anything apart. They're just trying to be very discerning. But it's like, despite their best efforts, that discernment is looking through, the lens of having some feelings here. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost the energy of, when you're mad at somebody, but they do something really funny or they do something really sweet that makes you smile. It's like you're trying not to smile because you're mad at them, but you kind of can't help it. I feel like that's kind of what's going on in this person's headspace. But I don't know why y'all are acting like this towards each other. I feel like there does seem to be some sort of argument here. It's possible that this person is like, I don't usually feel this, so I will say it, is like a rat in the Chinese astrology. But anyway, it's like there seems to be this kind of tete-a-tete, not tete-a-tete, but like this back and forth with each of your energies. And I feel like in your head and your heart, you both are trying, it looks like you know pretty well. I feel like this person's trying to discern. I feel like they seem to be confused about something. And it's like when they feel confused about something, I feel like they may automatically, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. They assume that someone's trying to screw them over. You know what I mean? It's like if there's any unknown in a situation, I feel, I'm not trying to knock this person, but I feel like they get to a place where like, what's wrong? What's going on? Is there something underhanded? Is this something I need to be worried about? It's like they kind of get into that Queen of Swords energy. And look, this is kind of what the cards are talking about. I don't know if you can see the look on the snake's eye. It's like they have a lot of passion for you, and it is kind of getting bigger for them, but they're looking at you like, oh. It's almost like they're a little pissed off about it. You know what I mean? I'm not laughing at this person, okay? I actually find their energy to be exceptionally endearing. You know what I mean? It's going back to that thing where, for example, you do something really sweet or adorable and you make this person smile when they actually want to be mad at you. And then they smile and then they scowl at you and be like, oh, don't do that. Don't make me like you right now. It's that, because it's actually seems like a really sweet energy. I feel like, and you may already know this person may come across as way closed off to people. You know what I mean? But when you get under that, I feel like you know that it's like, you know, freaking Narnia when you get in with this person. So we have the Eight of Inspiration and the Three of Cups here as what's in your situation with your person. So the Eight of Wands talks about something moving really fast, lots of messages. And I feel like that actually is your energy. It's almost this like upbeat, let's go, almost feeling like you're kind of like ready to take on the world sort of energy. And I mean, listen, the tarot often makes the messages really big so that maybe it doesn't do that for all the readers, but for me, sometimes it makes the messages really big so that I can pull it out. So I do want to be clear. That doesn't mean that you're going to come in and, talk incessantly. But it does feel like you are feeling like you're on top of your game. If you have been feeling, I almost want to say, it's like you knew that this feeling was coming, and it doesn't feel like you were kind of rushing through anything to get ready for it. It's almost like you just knew. You just knew that it was about to be time to start moving. And I feel like because you are who you are, you were well prepared. And what's interesting is, like, look at the difference in the energy between these people, right? They actually seem to be wanting to be really vulnerable with you. I feel like this person's a little bit of an anomaly, okay? Because I feel like on the one hand, they do want to be vulnerable. They do kind of want to let their guard down, but they're not, right? It's like they may, express some things to you that are going on with them, or it's like they may talk about being, things that would make them vulnerable, but I feel like they don't seem to actually allow themselves to get into a space where they feel vulnerable. You know what I mean? It's almost like the energy of somebody that when they have let their guard down before, people have kicked them when they let it down, right? So it's like they almost kind of talk about certain things and feel at the situation to see if you're going to be like they're past about it. I feel like to a certain extent, they don't, I mean, obviously they don't open up to a lot of people. But they do seem to be really hoping that that's going to be, I mean, they haven't given up on trying, right? And I feel like if this person is you, that they end up opening up to, I feel like when this person has that kind of vulnerable exchange with another person, it's like not instant loyalty, but I want to say attachment, but it's not that kind of negative attachment that sometimes is referred to. It's more like because this person has been vulnerable with you, and you were there for them when they needed you. It's like this is the kind of person that will, I mean, it's not like they're gonna bend over backwards, but if you need them, they'll be there. It's like they would sacrifice other things because you were there for them when they needed you. And I feel like to this person, that's like that it carries a certain weight, and not the bad kind of holding you down weight. It's like it carries a certain, I want to say like power or substance. It carries a, how do I say this? It means something. It's not just an empty like, oh, how are you doing today? No, it's like you showed this to them. You showed this person who you are when you were there for them. And I feel like that's where this, despite their best efforts, they seem to, be catching feelings. So it's like they're trying to say to themselves here, which I adore this person. I really do. They seem to be so complex. Like, I would love to get to know them. So we have the Moon, Queen of Swords, and the Lovers is what's in their headspace. So it's kind of like, I don't really know anything, and I'm just going to keep this at bay. Like, this is them here, right? And so it's like, this is kind of what they are immediately thinking in their conscious mind, right? And then this is kind of going on in the background. And I feel like they may start to, it's like, I mean, obviously they're with this Son of Wands here, this, it would be the Knight, right? With this Son of Wands here, they do seem to have some passion for you, but it's like they're, it's almost like it's fleeting. They don't allow themselves to feel it all the time. I feel like this person, it's like they can turn, for example, if their love was like a tap that was running water, they can turn that shiz off on a dime. It's like the, I want to say self-control, um, but it's like it's born of pain. You know what I mean? It's like they've been hurt enough that um, it's not quite at the slightest, you know, sign of danger, they turn it off. And maybe they do with a lot of people, but once they like kind of, the two of you have that vulnerable exchange where they're actually vulnerable, not just talking about things that make them feel that way. I feel like this person, it's like they really soften, and they seem to be somebody that, like, if something is said that, you know, they may have gotten defensive about with somebody else, I feel like they look at you like, is that really, it's almost like they may not actually say this, but I feel like they'll give you a look that tells you this. It's almost like they give you this look like, okay, I'm not sure how to take that. How was it meant? You know what I mean? It's like they don't sit there and just take things personally. They want to find out what you meant by it. Whereas I feel with a lot of people, it's like if people haven't earned the right for that belief in, you know what I mean? It's like they don't just believe that other people have their best interests at heart, but they believe that about you. And I actually feel like that might be a little bit scary for them. And so it's like that's why they keep trying to tell themselves, like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know all the details. I don't know. I feel like it's, here's the thing. It does feel like a little bit of a cop out. Don't be mad. I feel like that's a really strong word. I feel like it has a lot of a negative connotation to it. So let me flesh that out a little. It's like, yes, it is a little bit of a cop out, but I feel to a certain extent that because this person isn't someone that trusts easily, it may be a bit of a, you know, cop out. But is that cop out like that? That coping mechanism, I feel like that's been born out of being burned so many times. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it a cop out or is it some hard won wisdom here? And I feel like from their perspective, it is wisdom because they're not rushing. So look at you over here, all lovely. So we're going to actually touch on, this is the difference, right? And the two of you's headspace. Look at the look in their faces. And I feel like they seem to see you as somebody that's incredibly strong. It's like because they struggle with that vulnerable piece, I feel like you seem to be a lot more resilient from their perspective than a lot of people. And it's something that they seem to really admire about you. It's like they are keeping a close eye on you, but they're falling for you here. Oh, yes, they are. It might take a while for this person to say anything about it, if they ever do. Because of course, you know, this is the energy right now, right? But I do feel like as the situation progresses, they kind of have this intention of something really sparking off with you. I just actually feel like this may not be the actual situation, it's just the energetics of it. It's like this person may want you to, you know, may want something to spark with you, but it's like this is the kind of person that might make fun of you in order to get your attention. I don't feel that that's actually what they would do. Maybe they do, but it doesn't feel like it's actually the case. It's just that kind of strange energy where it's like what they're communicating with their actions is not actually what they want to happen, if that makes sense. So here they are again, a little skosh resentful. You know what I mean? It's like they kind of can't. I almost want to say that this person may be feeling a pull towards you, or it's like, who they believe is their higher power. It's almost like that higher power is saying like, nah, you got to do the thing. You got to do the thing with Virgo. You gotta. And I feel like they're kind of like, oh, right. So it does feel like there's a little bit of resentment here. I feel like they might be somebody that has. I mean, listen, we all have worked hard to get to where we are, right? Um, but I feel like they may have really built something that's very valuable to them, and they seem to be quite protective of it. And I feel like, well, they're kind of falling for you here. I actually feel like their heart is a stronger opposer to falling in love than their mind is. I don't know if, yeah, you probably can't see me do it, but I'm scratching my head because it's a very unique situation, right? It's like usually people's hearts are leading them towards love, not being the one that's kind of like, I don't really know. I don't know you well enough. And they seem to be actually quite protective. It's almost like they seem to allow their mind to expand with their understanding of the world, and it's like to take in a lot of new information. But it's like because their heart was hurt the most when they've been betrayed by people in the past or treated poorly, or which I guess is a betrayal anyway. But anyway, it's like because their heart is the one that took the biggest hit, it's like that's the part of them that is, I almost want to say, the most defensive. It's like, for example, let's say you ask this person out on a date. Just a kind of example of the energy. I'm not feeling this either way. It's like they'll come on the date with you, but they're going to know where all the exit doors are. You know what I mean? It's like they're going to have a clear exit strategy if they need it. And I feel like to a certain extent, for them to share whatever this is that they're protecting with you, it's like they might talk about it, but they're, you know what it feels like? It's like when a child has a new toy and another child's like, ooh, that's a nice new toy. And the first one's like, yes, it is. Can I help you? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like they're not even sure if they want anybody looking at it just yet. And they definitely don't want anybody playing with it. So in their actions or intentions towards you, this is where it's like, what? We have the Four of Cups, which talks about being disinterested. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which talks about holding back. I mean, I guess that actually is congruent with the energy up here, right? It just feels like they're actually doing a better job of coming across as disinterested and holding back than they realize. It's like they seem to want you to read the messages in their eyes, but they're not actually looking you in the eye. You know what I mean? Hold on. We are going to pull some clarifiers here because not one for Four of Cups. Okay, and one for the Four of Pentacles. Oh, right to the ground. Okay. Yay! Sorry. So, I'm actually really glad that we pulled clarifiers. So when it comes to this Four of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, I do feel like this person, it's like they seem to be trusting you despite their efforts. And that's not a statement on you not being trustworthy. It's a statement on, it's like they kind of can't help it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those people that it feels like it's a situation, again, may not be the actual energy, but it's like you've maybe known this person kind of like in the realm of friends, and it's for some reason it's like they rubbed you the wrong way. And then you get to know them and they're so freaking personable that you just can't help but like them. You know what I mean? It's that kind of an energy. So I feel like this person is just going to take things. Oh, I mean, obviously, you know what? I feel like they want to take things slow, obviously. Um, but I feel to a certain extent, it's like they want to take things slow. They're holding back, but they're getting impatient with the lack, with like not really. It's almost like they're trying to draw you over. I feel like they really enjoy. It's like there's something about how they feel when they're around you, and it doesn't even feel like it's, you know, that you make them feel differently about themselves, or it's like there's a different feeling in the freaking room when you're there. It's like it's kind of it's I am actually struggling to describe it. 1 second. It's like a calming but exciting energy. Um, I don't know. It just feels I'm. This is obviously it's not a perplexing energy. It's just something that feels really good. It's almost like if this person, you know what it feels like? In the same way that they have that faucet where they turn off their emotions, I feel like they turned them all off. You know what I mean? There's no hot water, there's no cold water, there's no good emotions, right? Quotes. There's no bad emotions. It's almost like it's you know, dead air sort of thing. And I feel like when you're around, it's like they kind of can't help but feel some feelings. And they're, you know, those feelings obviously are good with you, but I feel like they do keep pulling themselves back just to, you know, just because of experience. So we have the Four of Pentacles clarified by the Ace of Cups. So, I mean, they just, they do really want something to start here with you. They just got a real weird way of going about it. You know what I mean? It's like the motivation. You know what it kind of feels like? It's like maybe this person has um, their Venus in an earth sign, or Venus in Capricorn, or Mars in Capricorn. Because I feel like they might be the kind of person that when they're trying to attract something into their life, it's like they're going to show you how industrious they are, how they can work hard. It's like they're going to, um, it's almost the energy of somebody that wants to show you what they're capable of rather than draw you in with like emotional intimacy. And that's not to say that they don't have that and they can't do that, but it's like they seem to, when they're in a relationship with somebody, I feel like number one, they want to show you what they're capable of, and number two, it's like because that's what they're looking for someone that they can be really proud of. It's like they do what they can to make their partner proud of them, and it's like they're not going to sit there and expect to get, you know, empty praise for, you know, for nothing. So I feel like to a certain extent, it's like when this person is going out there and hold on, and is focused on making sure that they have what they need to kind of provide, it's a labor of love for this person. And I feel to a certain extent that it's like you seem to make everything brighter for them. You know what I mean? It's the kind of, I guess that's what happens when you're in love, right? Um, Again, I feel like this person actually, I'll be straight with you, I'm not so sure that they may realize how that, you know, that that's what's kind of going on here, because I feel like it's just, it's the first little sprouts of spring, you know what I mean? If ever you've planted like tulips or hyacinth, or just kind of those, the bulbs that are the first to come up, that's kind of where this person is at, and they may not be able to quite put a finger on it because it's not, it's like it hasn't burst forth, if you will, enough. And I feel like this person may actually be pretty open with you about some of the hurts that they've had. Maybe not like any of the gory details, but how it made them feel and how it's affected their ability to, you know, trust and be open and that sort of thing. And they're not saying it so that you can fix it, because there's no, like, that's not even in their vocabulary to have somebody else fix something for them. I actually feel like they're just telling you that so that you understand. So now on your end, I want to say like dun 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 dun. We have the Strength card. So the Strength card talks about, I mean, it looks quite romantic. He's got a rose in his, this is please don't get too hung up on the gender, okay? Because it's just about the energy in the card. So this one here, usually it talks about kind of overcoming those basic urges or instincts that we have. And what's interesting here is that I feel like number one, I almost want to say like, actually, that's not a problem for you. I feel more that there may be, it's almost like in the same way that the connection with you, oh my God, I love this read. In the same way that the connection with you is making this person kind of, you know, get in touch with their emotions despite their best efforts. I feel like it actually may be making you, it's like the impulse to do certain things is stronger. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's making you impulsive. It just feels like the push or urge or kind of like, hey, I want to do this, and then actually really wanting to see that through. And that doesn't mean that you don't have ideas and you don't want to see them through, but you may be more of kind of a careful, I want to say like mover and planner. May not be the actual situation, right? It's the energetics of it. So this person actually seems to be pulling this more impulsive side out in you. And I feel like to a certain extent, you may want to, their energy may have the same effect on you as yours does on them. Like just feeling better when they're in the room. It just feels like you actually are more in touch with how you actually feel about this person. And what's interesting is that I feel to a certain extent that, because we have the Five of Wands is what's in your actions or intentions towards them, right? So Six of Wands, sorry. So we have Six of Wands, Ten of Cups, Five of Wands, and Four of Wands all on your end here. So I feel like as you kind of get closer and closer to almost like an Ace of Wands sort of energy, I feel like you seem to get closer and closer to following through on some impulse here. So I do feel that the reason this Five of Wands is here is actually because of this. It's like you can feel the energetics of it. You know dang well that this person is looking square at you. And I feel like it's like the energetics of it tells you one thing, but because what they're doing is telling you another, there's some conflict there, right? It's like you can't make heads or tails of it. The energetic pull is there, the heart space pull. It's like the soul tie is there and you know it and you can feel it. But because how they're projecting that energy, it's like they might give you a coy smile, but then they'll leave without saying goodbye. You know what I mean? And it's almost like when them kind of giving you that coy smile, it actually seems to make them feel vulnerable, and then they're kind of like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna clam up again. So I feel like this person, sorry, I'm just gonna cross my, maybe not because I can't get my leg up and over the other way. There we go. Sorry. So it just feels like something kind of has to burst forth here for something to actually happen. I do feel to a certain extent that you may be in your baser, like the when I say lower chakras, it doesn't mean that they're less than, right? It feels like it's like the emotional, the that kind of like physical desire sort of thing. I feel like that's the energy that you're in. And I feel to a certain extent, it's like this person is coming into that energy with you. It's just taking them a little bit longer because they're up in their head about it. But I mean, it's I want to say like it's coming for them. Um, I do want to say that, Virgo, are you already in love with this person? I feel it's almost like you are allowing yourself to feel how you feel about them. But what's interesting is that it's like there isn't like a needy chasing, I need this person, this is my person, I need this person, it's the only person in the world for me. It's like you're just enjoying the feeling of it. You know what I mean? It's like you're not putting all of this stuff on it. You're not needing anything out of it. You're just allowing yourself to enjoy the experience. And I actually feel like that this person really feels that you're not putting a whole bunch of stuff on them. It's like this is the kind of one that when people start to expect stuff of them, they're looking at them like, who are you to expect? You know what I mean? It's like it seems to be a bit of a stopper for them. So the fact that that's not really what you're doing, it actually seems to be getting this person's attention even more. And I actually feel like you may be a little, I say a little bit, I feel like you're more open to the connection, certainly initially, than this person. But the fact that you still kind of like, you still handle your business, you're not rushing into anything, you're not chasing. It's like, number one, they really respect that. And number two, I feel like they're looking for somebody that isn't foolhardy. You know what I mean? That isn't going to jump headlong into something that could sabotage a life that the two of you have built together. And I feel like the restraint that you show, I want to say like, it's like you seem to be, you have enough inner strength to show in your actions that you're interested in this person. But because you don't have all the information about them either, right? You're not just going to kind of throw yourself out there or put all of your cards on the table. And I feel like this person actually seems to really value that about you. So I think I'll leave it there, Virgo. If this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful. Enjoy the energy. It feels really great. And we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.